From Fox 15, News 15 Today starts now.
Morning, you're watching News 15 Today. I'm Carter Simino. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get you out the door with a check on the forecast with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Corey Smith. Corey, what can we expect this Friday?
Well, some showers and storms back in the forecast. I think for a lot of us here, it's something we'll be watching into the afternoon. But sunshine right now here in Lafayette, I-10, I-49. Temperatures getting into lower 80s already. We're sitting at 81 here in Lafayette with winds out of the west-southwest at 7 miles per hour. Radar is quiet right now, although we are tracking at least a couple showers popping up here along Cameron Parish, of course, outside the viewing area. But that's a sign of things to come. We're going to start to see, especially down by the coast, those storms to start to fire up here as we go throughout the next few hours as we get that daytime heating. And then as we go into the afternoon, a little bit more widespread. That includes here in Lafayette, I think around 1 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, seeing scattered showers and storms. Temperatures near 90 degrees as we head into the afternoon. So we're going to time everything out, let you know when this is all moving through as we go throughout your Friday and give you the latest forecast here on the weekend weather. As for the tropics, we now have Hurricane Elsa out in the Atlantic moving into the Caribbean. We'll give you the latest track on this storm and if it has any impacts for our forecast coming up, so stay tuned.
All right, sounds good, Corey. We'll be checking back with you in just a few minutes. Well, if you'd like to get tested or vaccinated against the coronavirus, head to any health unit that you see on your screen. Note, all services are available during regular business hours. Vaccines are administered from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and COVID testing is from 3 p.m. to 4. Well, 2 studies have found the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine provides at least 8 months of immunity and protects against the Delta variant, the company said in a statement last night. Separately, researchers studied blood taken from 8 vaccinated volunteers and tested it against an engineered version of the Delta variant and other variants of the virus. They found the single-dose J&J COVID-19 vaccine generated neutralizing antibodies against the range of variants. The U.S. Marshal's Office reporting the rescue or recovery of 19 children during an operation called This Is the Way Home. The operation ran from March 1st to June 30th and focused on missing and endangered runaways in the New Orleans metro area. An additional 20 children were located or turned themselves in, according to the U.S. Marshal's Office. During the recoveries, 9 adults were arrested in connection with this operation. A Kenner native is hoping for a miracle after revealing that his wife is still missing a week following the collapse of the Florida condominium tower. Michael Stratton says he was on the phone with his wife, 40-year-old Cassandra, while the towers collapsed. And now hope is diminishing with each day. Here's what Cassandra's sister had to say.
It's to my understanding that Cassie called her husband at 1:30 a.m. Miami time and told him that the pool was collapsing, that the ground was shaking and cracking. And it's my understanding that she, let out a very loud scream and the phone went dead.
Cassandra is still reported as missing following the fall of the 12-story building. Right now, 18 people have been confirmed dead. Well, families are now grappling with a harsh reality as efforts to find survivors following the Surfside condo collapse extend beyond a week. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is on location with more on that and the latest safety concerns facing rescuers.
If the building's a problem, the building has to disappear.
Officials in Surfside are now considering reducing the remaining parts of the Champlain Tower south to rubble, citing concerns over its structural integrity. The threat over a possible second collapse caused search efforts to be delayed for roughly 15 hours Thursday. And now first responders are trying to make up for lost time.
We will continue to search feverishly, as we have done all along, in the parts of the collapse that we currently have access to.
Still, the hope that survivors will be recovered is something many folks are refusing to abandon. But as of Thursday, more than a week into the search, at least 145 people remain unaccounted for. The president consoled the victims' families during his visit yesterday, while acknowledging the full scope of the tragedy.
They know that the chances are, as each day goes by, diminish slightly. But at a minimum, they want to recover the bodies.
He also pledged the support of the federal government, saying it would cover the entire cost of search and rescue efforts for the next 30 days.
Well, moving on, Boy Scouts of America reached an $850 million settlement with tens of thousands who say they were sexually abused. The settlement is the largest in a child sexual abuse case in United States history. More than 84,000 people are part of the lawsuit against the 110-year-old organization, which has been plagued with claims of abuse from volunteers and leaders since the 1960s. An attorney for more than 16,000 people says the majority of his clients are in their 60s and 70s, and that the abuse happened while they were in their teens. The settlement was detailed in court documents filed this week. Well, if you're tired of spam phone calls from numbers that look local, rejoice. The Federal Communications Commission has implemented a new anti-spoofing system called Stir/Shaken to honor spy James Bond. It helps verify phone numbers to ensure what shows up on your caller ID is actually the number that is calling you. The three major U.S. carriers, T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, say they've adopted the new protocol. The FCC hopes this will reduce the number of robocalls. But it's not a complete fix, and officials warn consumers should remain vigilant against scammers.
And we have the latest on Hurricane Elsa, where that's heading, as well as some showers and storms in your forecast for today. Make sure to stay tuned.
And I'll be joining Al Aber for his final hit of the morning, hanging out with JB's Cruising Cuisine, eating some barbecue to kick off the 4th of July weekend. That's next. Stay with us.
I can't hear it. I got you. 45.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Well, this is a treat. Alex Horstel is definitely missing out, although she's probably enjoying her vacation. Outside the studio, hanging out with a chef for the first time since before the pandemic happened for Friday Feed. Al Aber, I'm going to toss the mic to you real quick. I got my fork here. I'm going to start grubbing. You guys just kind of wrap up what we did this morning.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So he's going to try the pork steak. And JB, let's remind everybody, where can we find you?
2201 Mall Street, next to O'Reilly.
Now, you and I were just talking. Yes, sir. There's something else you do. Yep. I'm gonna let you mention it so I don't get in trouble with your wife.
Yeah, well, so we do offer caterings. Just give us a call. We do all kind of events, special events, graduations, repasts, well, just whatever kind of event. We just love to do events, car shows, whatever.
Now, Carter, what do you think, man? Oh, you got a mouthful. Sorry. I think there might be a television rule about not talking with your mouth full. I'm not really sure on that.
It is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Carter, just give me a sign when you can speak. Oh, we got a minute left. So you barbecue. You have another specialty. We're talking about the fried fish. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we do the fried fish and the shrimps. But I would like to talk about the stuffed turkey roll and stuffed ham. We do offer that as well on our Sunday menu. You can come get it on Sunday with 4 sides, the cornbread dressing, green bean casserole, the yams and mac and cheese.
A stuffed turkey roll. That's every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Carter, what do you think, man?
It's amazing. I had to go back for a second. I highly recommend JB's Cruisin' Cuisine. This guy is a master. We appreciate him coming out here all morning long and cooking with us. And you know what? A special treat, because I'm going to go dive in for round 2. I'll get him to say what's coming up.
Right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There it is.
Where is it? Right there? Mm-hmm. Best first. We have more rain in the forecast. Storm track 15 meteorologist Corey Smith is tracking when that will arrive in your forecast next. It's on your Friday morning.
Awesome job, man. Awesome job, JB. Thank you so much. JB's Cruisin' Cuisine. Great day. Great day.
It was good. It's got some kick.
That's the one thing about the people around here.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Corey, go ahead and take it away. I need to take a drink of my water because that was some spicy pork back there.
Oh, we're going to be seeing a lot of water coming from the sky today and rain back into the forecast, unfortunately. And that starts a little bit later on in the day. I think for the most part, we're staying partly cloudy through the next few hours, but then things really start to change over to scattered storm chances here on Futurecast. So you can see what's going on. We have partly to mostly cloudy skies as we get towards midday. Showers and storms start to fire up. And then we're actually seeing a cold front move in. So a little line starts to form here right around Evangeline, St. Landry Parish, right around 1 p.m. That will continue to push to the south by 3 to 4 p.m., reaching Lafayette in the I-10 corridor. And as we head into the rest of the afternoon and evening, seeing the storms push down to the coast. This boundary isn't really moving too much here over the next few days, so we can expect multiple rounds of rain. You can see some of that here as we go into the night hours, some more showers and storms starting to fire up. Here on Futurecast, you can see the setup, things really just sitting along here, and that's why on Saturday it looks like it could potentially be a washout sort of a day with lots of rain, especially down by the coast. That continues into Sunday, although Sunday looking a little bit drier right now, so hopefully that holds for any 4th of July plans for now. But overall looking like a wet 4 to 5 days ahead here across Acadiana. Something we'll have to keep an eye on there, as well as we'll have to keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico for potential maybe some tropical weather moving in. We'll talk about that here in a second, but first let's take a look at the 4th of July weekend forecast here. We are cooler than normal, so that's the one benefit of having all this rain around, but looking wet pretty much every day going forward. Now let's talk about the tropics. This is Hurricane Elsa moving into the Caribbean now, just past Barbados, and actually hurricane hunters just flew through this plane, and with that, wind speeds of 75 miles per hour, and it's a little bit weaker than some of us have maybe been thinking about this. So that will have impacts, I think, here in our forecast going forward. And you'll see here on the National Hurricane Center track, over the next 36 hours, this remains a hurricane as it moves through the Caribbean, and then it's going to be making a turn to the north. I think this is where we start to see the change maybe in their next update here around 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit of a westward shift here. With the storm moving so quickly, it's a little bit weaker than, at least pressure-wise, than we might have thought originally. On top of that, models have started to shift to the west a little bit. Doesn't mean we're seeing impacts yet, but of course, it's just a reminder, this part of the forecast, very likely to change, still 4 to 5 days out currently, that we could start to see some impacts here along the Gulf Coast. As for the 7-day forecast, it's really about those showers and storms here as you go forward. That starts this afternoon and continues throughout the weekend. Saturday looking pretty wet here. Sunday looking hopefully optimistically a little bit drier here, but still keeping that chance of rain around. And as you head into next week, thunderstorms every day.
Oh boy, well, we'll get geared up for that. Corey, making sure that we have the proper tools needed to weather these storms. Thanks very much. We'll check one more time before our show is up. Coming up, we've got a rundown of some local events happening this weekend, barring weather, plus some tips on how to use fireworks safely.
Storm Track 15's Tracking the Tropics, brought to you by Lafayette Roofing.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Attention boaters. Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries is taking part in Operation Dry Water this weekend. What does that mean? Well, starting today until July 4th, agents will be out in force patrolling state waterways for impaired boat operators. Nationwide, alcohol is the leading known contributing factor in fatal boating incidents. Alcohol played a role in 4 of 24 boating fatalities in Louisiana last year. Louisiana State Troopers are encouraging drivers to be safe this holiday weekend. This weekend is one of the busiest travel periods of the year, which often leads to more crashes. Troopers are asking drivers to be attentive to their surroundings, exercise patience, show courtesy to others, and limit distractions inside the vehicle. State Police will have additional troopers on patrol looking for aggressive and impaired drivers. Well, hitting the open road for the 4th of July means opening the wallet, too, especially for gas this year. Gas Buddy, the real-time online finder of gas prices, says that many drivers will pay above the $3 per gallon mark in time for the 4th of July weekend. The national average price of gas on July 4th is expected to be $3.11 per gallon. That's 93 cents more than last year's price, which came during the pandemic when few traveled. Gas Buddy's survey says 74% of people will take at least 2 summer trips, keeping supply tight and prices high. Well, some sad news for a local business in the area. Zoo House Bakery and Coffee announcing on Facebook they're closing their doors tomorrow. The coffee joint saying, quote, "We would like to thank our customers for the continuous support over the years," end quote. In their post, they allude to a new location in the near future. So the story has a good ending. Turning to some weekend events here in Acadiana, Bayou on the Teche invites you to be a part of the Theology on the Bayou, specifically the hour-long Theology on Tap style series today. It starts at 6 p.m. A variety of speakers will discuss topics like image of God, faith and science, and so much more. This discussion is the first of 3 dates of the series, with the next to follow on July 16th and July 30th. Visit Theology on the Bayou Facebook page for more information. And Vincent Family Barbecue officially opens this weekend in St. Mary Parish. The takeout-only eatery opens tomorrow at 11 a.m. and goes until 7. Choose your pickup style, whether that's walk-in or curbside. You don't want to miss your exclusive first taste of this one-of-a-kind barbecue this 4th of July weekend. Visit VincentFamilyBarbecue.com to pre-order or call 337-205-4850. Well, the 4th of July often comes with parades, festivals, and fireworks. And following a spike in fireworks-related injuries and deaths last year, safety and health experts have a warning for those hoping to put on dazzling home displays. Sarah Dalloff reports.
It was a record-breaking holiday for all the wrong reasons. Last year's 4th of July celebrations saw firework-related injuries and deaths soar by 50%.
That is a trend that is going in the wrong direction.
18 people were killed and more than 15,000 treated in ERs across the country. The U.S. Consumer Product and Safety Commission, which details the increases in a newly released report, believes they're tied to the pandemic.
It may have been that consumers were taking matters into their own hands and celebrating because many of the public fireworks displays across the nation were canceled.
And they're worried it may happen again this year. The commission releasing videos emphasizing the danger of fireworks, including popular and generally legal ones. Last year, firecrackers were the biggest source of ER-treated injuries, followed by sparklers.
Don't give a sparkler to a child. They burn at 2,000 degrees, as hot as a blowtorch.
Health and safety experts also reminding people to have a bucket of water nearby and to never mix alcohol, drugs, and fireworks. Your best bet, enjoy public displays. Most are back on this year.
Don't spend your 4th of July in the emergency room.
Smart moves for a safe and sparkling holiday.
Well, the Lafayette Fire Department usually responds to at least 10 grass fires and 1 structure fire every 4th of July. Local shop owners recommend soaking used fireworks in water before throwing them away. Well, coming up next, Corey Smith has a final track of the forecast this Friday morning. Stay with us.
Heading into the afternoon, the chances of some afternoon showers and storms. The cold front moves south through the region. After that, a wet weekend ahead. That continues as well into next week. And of course, we'll be tracking Hurricane Elsa, where that goes, and if it has any impacts for our forecast going forward. So make sure you're tuning in for that, whether that's at the noon show or our evening shows later tonight.
Well, hopefully we have some clear skies for firework displays on Sunday evening.
Yeah, that's the hope right now, is that if we can get those storms out of the way in the first half of the day, looking like we maybe could get away with some dry weather for those firework displays.
Okay, well, I know your team will be updating us throughout the weekend. Thank you very much, Corey. Our coverage continues at noon on KLAF and anytime on our website, kadn.com. We'll be back here bright and early from 5 a.m. to 9 on Monday. Until then, have a great day at Kadn and stay safe.